Let's talk a little bit about this hot topic at hand, that capital infusion for some of the PSU banks, much awaited. And what is your sense as to how this can really change the landscape for some of these PSU banks which have been struggling with high NPL so far? Even their expansion plans have been put on hold on account of this.
So I think this was one of the two very critical things which is required for PSU bank. One and first, of course, is the appointment of chairmen in some of these large banks, public sector banks, which has been pending for a long time. And apart from that, a broad framework of how capital will be infused. I think these two are very crucial things, apart from the fact that, of course, they are reeling under huge NPL problem, but that is a bit systemic in the nature. At the same time, it is also due to some of the public sector related issues in terms of decision making and speed of that.
What is your take? Slew of parameters that the government is, talked about in terms of capital infusion. We just had Jayant Sinha, the Minister of State Finance, stating exclusively to ET now that a 25,000 crore rupee cash outgo is, is not going to impact the fiscal situation for the government. But the bigger question really is that is it going to be enough? Will it enthuse the PSU banking lot and the capital requirements that they have in the near term? And also this seems like a long drawn plan, 70,000 crore rupee cash outgo in the next 4 years. Is it going to help solve the problem for PSBs in the next 4 to 7 years?
So there are, frankly, a lot of aspects to public sector banks. This is one of the aspects. One of the incremental positive. Is it a game changer? I don't think so, because the PSU banks, most of the banks which need capital, are currently trading at something like 40% of their book value or 50% of book value. So even if you infuse capital, there has to be some structure. If you infuse at 40% of the book value itself starts coming down, and it's a vicious circle. So I'm sure the structure in which the capital will come, which will not probably impact the book value so badly. Secondly, why PSU banks have landed in this situation? So there needs to be a few corrective measures so that the infused capital doesn't go, quickly into, not drain, but it does not get evaporated quickly. So of course you need the right chairmen. As also beyond that, it also suggests that these are incremental steps and there is no drastic step, in terms of the need to merge a few banks, the need to probably bring private management or whatever known management with stock option. So we need to hear a few more things, but of course this is a step in right direction, and this kind of confidence from the main promoter, which is government in public sector bank, was required. But if it gets accompanied by all the other required things, then it will enthuse markets a lot. That itself will solve half the problem of capital of the PSU banks.
In terms of how you see all of these issues, even that Vaibhav also flagged off for some of the smaller banks, and how meeting the RBI capital norms is how easy it's going to be for some of these PSU banks in order to receive this kind of infusion.
So I think, I'm sure they would have kept an increment till improvement in the performance, because to achieve the benchmark performance is going to take time, and a lot of things are responsible for this kind of a performance, not alone the PSU banks managements that most of us know very well. So I think that, the norms to gain those, not need-based, but the other capital will be more in terms of incremental improvement that they show. And in that case also, this gives confidence as well as incentivizes management to focus and improve. But I think there are certain other larger issues for PSU managements to perform as well as the other banks. And if those are addressed, that will help the overall system as well as PSU bank valuations substantially. And that is what is more critical. So 70,000 crores could be a good kitty, but if that leads to, improvement in valuation, then banks can raise capital on their own, which is what they do in good period.
Great, Amisha. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us and really sharing your insights on this entire bank recapitalization issue.